Can I identify my friends based only on their favorite books? Let's find out. I've been successful with TV shows, movies, YouTubers, desks, pretty much everything. It's now down to books, which is my favorite thing. But I have heard from Spencer this is going to be my hardest challenge yet. Because a lot of people, they don't like reading. I know we do have a lot of readers here at Smosh. We do have a Slack channel where we talk about books that we're reading. I've been a part of it for years. I've paid attention. So that gives me a little bit of an edge. Let's begin. First up, okay. We have an algebra book, okay. Algebra 3. Then we have Heaven, a novel. I've not actually heard of this. And then On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous, a novel. Okay, so this person likes literary fiction and they like math. So I'm guessing not a huge reader, and these are just 2 books that they've read, and then they were like a third, algebra.
So Heaven was recently translated from Japanese.
Got it.
And On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous is written in the form of a letter from a Vietnamese American son to his illiterate mother.
Based on this type of literary fiction, the type of stories these are telling, this drama, this very, very, a lot of depth to the stories, this reminds me of the types of movies that Olivia likes. That is about as close as I'm gonna get here. Otherwise, Chance is the other person I kind of think of, but Chance is such, I think Chance probably reads comics more than anything, but I know we don't have comics in this. I'm gonna go with Olivia. The algebra thing is weird, but I also could see Olivia just throwing that out there to be weird. So I'm gonna go with Olivia. Let's start this off. Okay if I'm wrong. Wow. Wow.
Well done.
Holy shit. That, you know what, it makes perfect sense. All right, next up, we have Jane Eyre, we have a Colleen Hoover book, Verity, and we have The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. That's a novel, I'm guessing, or is that a historical book?
It's a debut novel from 2005. It's
okay.
It's kind of loosely inspired by Frankenstein, apparently.
Interesting. Okay, so we have someone who loves literary fiction, classic and modern, but it seems like they probably like historical fiction in that regard, period pieces. I tried to read, or no, I did not try to read Jane Eyre. I tried to read Wuthering Heights, and I struggled with it. Sorry to let you down, Bronte fans. Okay. Ooh, I could see this being Selina. Yeah, I could see this being Selina. For some reason, in my head, it's down to 3 people, I've decided. It's down to Ovsana, Selina, and Zoe. For some reason, Zoe I know read a book called Lessons in Chemistry a little bit ago, and I feel like that's gonna make her top 3, because I remember her talking about loving it, but I might be wrong there. But those 3 people, I just see them liking this type of book. But I'm gonna go with Selina on it. I don't feel strongly about it, but I think I could just picture them liking books with this type of depth to it. So let's give it a go. It was Zoe, dang it! Well, yeah, what am I gonna do about it? I knew Zoe was possibly in the mix for this, but I was wrong. But I'm not surprised. Moving on, here we go. Harlan Coben, The Woods, I'm guessing that's a thriller. Lively, fast-moving entertainment. Alice Hoffman, Practical Magic, okay, cool. And The Covenant of Water. Lot of just, Oprah's Book Club. Okay.
Dude, my mom loved The Covenant of Water.
Interesting. I think this is very clearly Amanda.
Got
Yep.
her ass.
Got it. Got it. Got it. There's a thriller in there.
I thought you would have like Dean Koontz or something on there.
No, that's getting a little too. No, I this makes perfect sense. Look, we've been hosting a podcast. We know. Okay. All right, we got a Chuck Palahniuk in here. And a Hunter S. Thompson, Crying in H Mart, a memoir. Okay. But Damned by Chuck Palahniuk and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Okay. So we got a dude here. And I mean that more as just like, as far as literature, it's like this is bro literature. Every teenage dude knows some other teenage dude at some point who's just like, dude, have you read Fear and Loathing? I had a friend who was like that. I
was the big Chuck Palahniuk guy.
I
gobbled up all his
I read Fight Club, that's it. Spencer, I know you were a Chuck Palahniuk guy.
Yeah.
I know you were.
I wanted to write like him.
You are possibly on this list, Spencer. Alex, I can't say that you're safe. I think that you're a suspect here. Luke is a suspect. Alex Aguilar, absolutely in the lead, though. I mean, just cruising ahead, Alex Aguilar. I just think, guys, I got to go with Alex Aguilar. I have to. Look, this screams Alex Aguilar to me. Is it Luke? It's Alex Aguilar. Yeah, dude.
Nah, dude, I was like, please get this one.
Come on. All right, I got one of art department.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Terry Brooks, Sex for Dummies. Come on. Hey, Dr. Ruth's in this one. Oh, so you know it's good. Okay, so we got fantasy, and because they're reading so much fantasy, they don't know how to They're in the bedroom with a date and they're like, have you read the Mistborn series? These are older fantasy books. So I don't think this person has read stuff recently. Like, I don't think they're reading actively, I don't think. When was this book published, may I ask that, Homeland?
That one's pretty old too.
Okay, but I know Terry Brooks
and
stuff.
that's the newer cover. Well, they specified, like, I think they wanted the whole series, but these are kind of like the first books of, like, Terry Brooks, I want to say this is a 70s book. The Landover, and then R.A. Salvatore. I remember my friend reading that in middle school.
Okay. My inclination is that this is Ian. We know Ian loves to make jokes. We also know that Ian is Chumbawamba's #1 fan.
Yeah.
So please go to the next sketch that is published on the main channel and comment that so that Ian can talk to me again about it. He was so shocked. He was literally like, yeah, getting a lot of that. Pretty cool. I'm going to go with Ian on this. I think Ian read books when he was in high school, and then I think he started making Smosh videos and was like, I never have to read again.
Jesus Christ.
It's Ian or it's Anthony, but I'm going to go with Ian. Could be Anthony, but I'm going with Ian. Trevor? Give me a break. Give me a break, Trevor. All right. Fine. I got already having people throwing too many jokes at me. Come on, guys. Read books. He's not read Sex for Dummies. You know he hasn't. Okay. We have A Confederacy of Dunces. We have The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier Clay. We have Circe. I've read 2 of these books. I've read The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, and I've read Circe. Circe's up there for me. That's Circe and Song of Achilles are 2 of my favorite books. So this person likes really good books. Because these are all acclaimed. So this is a reader. I think this is a person who likes reading a lot, I would guess. I don't think this is Kiana. If I heard Kiana be like, my favorite book is definitely A Confederacy of Dunces, that would blow my mind, frankly. If it's true, that's nuts. Could be Luke. I could see this being Luke. I could see this being Bailey, one of our producers on Smosh Pit. I know they're a big reader. I think it's down to those 2 for me, kind of. Honestly. If I found out someone I didn't know has read Circe, I'm going to be like, we got to talk about Circe. That book is so dope. I'm going with Luke. Oh. I think Bailey's gonna have a more like a fantasy series on there, I think. These feel like the Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay and Confederacy of Dunces just feel very Luke to me. But I know Luke reads a lot of stuff, so I think Cersei could also be on there. I'm gonna go with Luke. If it's Bailey, I'm gonna be so sad. Let's go. Let's go. Let's frickin' go. Hell yeah. I'm actually surprised. Those are pretty tame. Luke has talked, like, we have our book channel that we talk about books on, and people will be like, oh, I'm reading this book, or I'm reading this fantasy book. And then Luke will be like, I'm reading the Hell Torment book. And it's like, whoa, okay. He's like, all right, man.
Flesh.
All right, here we go. Okay. The Disaster Artist, The Book of Mormon, and Ready Player One. Ooh. You know who I think it is? I'm gonna go with a wild guess on this one. I think it's Emily. I'm gonna go with Emily on this. Just gonna throw one out. I just need to throw one out there. Emily. Yeah, Josh. That's fine. That one was tough. That could be a lot of people. Respect. Good stuff. I like Ready Player One and The Disaster Artist. I've still never seen Book of Mormon. I want to see it so bad. Next up, we've got Radical Candor, Nonviolent Communication, History's Worst Disasters. Okay, Be a Kick-Ass Boss. All right. This is Ian. Books that I guess he didn't friggin' pay attention to except for History's Worst Disasters. Boom, roasted. I do actually know that Ian has read a lot of like leadership books and business books over the past couple of years. So that feels like my best guess. And I do know Ian loves history. So this fits for Ian, fits someone else. Their reading habits are very Ian coded. It's Ian. Here we go. Here we go. Next up, let's see here. The Friend, a novel. Oh, we got a David Sedaris in there. All right. Her Body and Other Parties, short stories. Okay. David Sedaris is what I'm going to really focus on here. And short stories. It's such a specific type of person. I will be honest. And I know this is a huge risk because I always fail. Erin Kuschner always has like really cool shit. Like truly, always like cool thoughts, cool movies, cool TV shows. These are really cool books. Like someone who likes David Sedaris is like cool, you know? And someone who reads short stories, that's pretty cool. It just is. You don't see people reading short stories that often. It's like, what are you reading? It's like, oh, it's a collection of short stories.
People read them all the time.
No, they don't, Spencer. So those are some thoughts. Erin Kuschner and Cassie come to mind for this. I'm just trying to think of people who I think are kind of cool. It's either Cassie or it's Erin Kuschner. If I get it wrong and it's one of them though, you got to give me a half point on at least getting art team, because that's what I fail consistently. I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to say Cassie, because I don't know. I'm going to go with Cassie. If it's Erin Kuschner, I'm going to be so sad.
Bro.
Guys! Let's go! Guys, this might be the episode where I get all of our team. Erin Kuschner's lurking in there. All right, next up. Living Untethered, Beyond the Human Predicament. Sapiens, good book. And Home Alone, a children's book. Okay, so nonfiction reader here. Not into novels. Sapiens, a good book.
Home Alone's a true story.
And Home Alone is based on a true story. They're not taking in much content. TV shows, movies, books, unless it's Home Alone. This is Anthony, and I know he included the Home Alone just to help me out, which is very sweet. Yeah. There it is.
Nice.
Nice, I got him.
I couldn't tell if you were being serious or not.
It clicked. I was like,
Okay.
as I was like sitting there, I was like, oh, right. But it did take a second. Okay. Andre. Finally I get Andre again. He has escaped me so many times. Finally gave me the hints I needed. Come on. All these D&D books, but then none of his favorite movies or TV shows are fantasy. Give me a break. It's kind of like Erica hating One Piece. I will never let that down. I'm upset at Erica forever.
And she couldn't put One Piece on because it's a manga.
Yeah, I know. That makes it so upsetting. I'll Be Gone in the Dark. One woman's obsessive search for the Golden State Killer. I've heard of that. I've heard it's brutal. I'm Glad My Mom Died is truly one of my favorite biographies or memoirs I've ever read. And Uta Hagen, Respect for Acting. I have read this book. Yeah, so this is Angela. Yeah, I think it's Angela for sure. I'll be shocked if it's not, but this screams Angela to me. There it is. Yeah. I know Angela loves true crime. She also likes acting.
She wanted to let you know the acting one was a bit.
She's read Uta Hagen.
Oh, I'm sure she's read it.
And Stella Adler's book. I know she's read both of them.
Dude, what if you got mentioned in Jeanette McCurdy's book?
The episode of Sam and Cat I was in gets mentioned.
Really?
Yeah, because there was the one where Ariana Grande's in a box, and they, because she got to go perform, while Jeanette McCurdy was told to, you have to be on set, you can't go do other projects.
Yeah.
And that was the episode I was on where Ariana Grande was off performing, so the whole premise of it was she gets stuck in a magical box, and I'm a magician who's trying to help her get out.
And there again, she was like, yeah, this blonde bimbo walked on. His name was Top.
Stupid idiot walked on. Next, Aragon, Ender's Game, What's Wrong with What We Drink, Troubled Water. Interesting, okay. Is that a novel or is that?
I think it's nonfiction.
Okay. Honestly, Aragon, I did read when I was a teenager, and it's pretty good. It is the story, it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's the same exact plot as Star Wars. I'm sorry to break that to people, but it's still very good. I love it. And Ender's Game rocks. Okay, I think this is either Noah or Chance. Noah or Chance? Chance. God damn it. Damn it, that sucks. That hurts.
That does suck.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Cool. Ender's Game is tough because I feel like everyone's read Ender's Game. So.
It's a good one.
It is good. All right.
Do you ever read any of the other ones?
No.
Or they get crazy.
I hear they do apparently get nuts. That's every science fiction.
Yeah, it's like
have you read Dune? Have you read the others where it gets f***ing crazy? All right, Noah, you escaped me. That's fine. The Vanishing Half, Anxious People, and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm getting strong Kiana vibes from this. Extremely strong Kiana vibes. It could be other people, but I'm gonna go with Kiana because I know these are books she has mentioned. I don't think anyone reads as much as Kiana. I think Kiana reads like an absurd amount of books. And so, but I've heard about all of these from her. So I'm gonna throw out Kiana. Let's see. There it is.
There she is.
There it is. All right. It was Evelyn Hugo that gave me that one. All right. Where the Sidewalk Ends, Poems and Drawings of Shel Silverstein, The Great Gatsby, A Man Called Ove, a novel. Uwe.
I don't know. I think it's like Dutch or something. Well, let me look it up.
Brennan was like, it's Uwe. I mean, I don't know if it's...
It was remade into, or not
A Man Called Otto is what it was turned into.
Yeah, the Tom Hanks movie.
Okay. Poems
Ein Mann som heter Ove.
This is probably the hardest one I've had so far, so I'm probably gonna lose this one, and I just have to kind of accept that, and that's okay. So I'm just gonna throw out some people that I just am not super sure on. I would go like Ovsana, Peter, Rachel, Erin Dougal, and Erica, because I don't know how the Erica thinks anymore. I don't know. I give up. I give up. Let's go with Rachel. I'm gonna go with Rachel. But if it's Ovsana, I swear to God. Rachel, please. Please be Rachel. Oh! Dude, that sucks. That sucks.
You were like, man, this is really hard. Ovsana.
I have to just trust my gut more often.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Great Gatsby's a great book, so respect. All right. Thousand Splendid Suns, Matilda, and Persepolis. Persepolis, or am I pronouncing that right?
I said it was Persepolis, but I don't know.
Persepolis. Persepolis is a great book. So the graphic novels are okay.
Look, here's the thing. They got it in kind of late, and I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if it was a graphic novel or not. But
it's a graphic novel.
It's a graphic novel. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Great.
I'm sorry about that.
Great graphic novel, though.
I will be having words with them.
Highly recommend it. Great read. I have not read A Thousand Splendid Suns, but I have read The Kite Runner. I've not read Matilda.
Dude, Matilda rocks.
I'm going to throw a name out there. I'm just going to throw a dart. And I'm going to say Matt Duran. Rachel.
You just said.
I was not going to get that. That's tough.
That is tough.
That's really tough.
Those are three solid picks.
Yeah, 3 good picks. Way to go. All right, next up we have Okay. Wow. Okay. American Gods, specifically A Storm of Swords, and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think this is Damien. Damien definitely loves American Gods, I know that, and I know he loves Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and Storm of Swords, Game of Thrones, I believe he's a big fan of as well as me. Let's see. Otherwise, if it's for some reason not Damien, I would guess it is Chance or, yeah. Let's see, okay. Okay, so this is a little inside joke, a little stupid inside joke. So, Tagana is a book that I read a long time ago that is very good. It's a very good fantasy book. I was reading it on set on So Random, and I would be reading it, and Matthew Scott and Damien would see me reading it, and they walk up, and I'm sitting there reading it, and Matthew Scott goes, "So did they make it?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Did they make it to Ghana?" And it just became the joke for the rest of the year. I finished that book like in spring. In winter, they were like, "Did they make it to Ghana?" I was just like, F***. So this is Damien, unless Matthew Scott snuck in here.
We got to start doing wild cards like that.
I know, Damien, all right. Yeah, thank you. God damn, what a callback. All right, here we go. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, How Music Works by David Byrne, and Where's Waldo? Methinks. This is Brennan. Methinks. Because I'm feeling good about this. I can get some wrong, because I think my percentage is pretty high right now. But I'm gonna go with Brennan, because he loves music. And it's Brennan. Nice.
Where's Wally?
I also know Brennan has mentioned Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I've still never read. I know, I need to read it. Can I say something kind of crazy? There's something nice about there being like books or movies or TV shows that you know are like the best. People are like, you gotta read it, it's the best. In some ways, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna read it, so that I know there's a book out there that's incredible that I still haven't read. Because with a lot of books, I've read them and I'm like, well, there's what's left. And you know, it's like, oh, I've read all the best ones. There's nothing good. So Hitchhiker's Guide, I like knowing that I have it out there.
You're saving them.
I'm saving it for later. Saving the best for last. When I'm 80 and I'm like, sweet, I get to crack this open. Just kidding. All right, here we go. Wow. Okay. Song of Achilles, love that book. Circe, love that book. Hatchet, that book. The Secret, that shit.
You ever read Brian's Winter?
No.
It was like a what if story. It's like, what if he didn't escape?
Damn, that actually might be awesome. I read Hatchet in school, and I just remember, I liked it, but I also just remember being like, come on, man, like, ugh. Because it has that phrase. It just keeps me like, the secret. The secret.
I don't remember that at all.
I feel like I vividly remember that, unless it's from a different book.
What do you think it's about?
A plane crash, and he's lost in the woods.
Yeah, no, that's it. I just don't remember the secret thing.
Yeah, but he's right. There's a secret thing in there.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
What was the secret?
It's just a phrase there's something to it. I forget that part, but it's just a phrase, like the author loved like bringing back that phrase a bunch. I'm thinking either Bailey or Emily. No, because I think Emily hasn't read Song of Achilles yet. I feel like I remember a conversation where she hasn't read it yet. I think. Unless I'm wrong, I could have sworn. I'm gonna go with Bailey on this. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be so mad because I've talked to her about books and I don't feel like, but okay, whatever. I'm in my head now. I gotta just throw out a guess. I'm gonna say Bailey. Amanda. I was never gonna guess that, and I'll tell you why. Because I, in my head, was determined that Jurassic Park would be on her top 3. Because Amanda loves dinosaurs. I'm shocked that if she hasn't read Jurassic Park, she's not in here. If Amanda reads Jurassic Park, that's gonna be in her top 3.
I want to ask her what the secret is.
Yeah, what's the secret? Wow, so I need to talk to Amanda about Madeline Miller books, because they're incredible. All right, well, okay. I feel like now I'm gonna guess Bailey's immediate. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be f***ing kidding me here. Okay, Spencer. Yeah, Spencer. All right. You're the only person who's had Stephen King. I know you're a Stephen King fan, so.
He was on there twice.
Yeah, The Long Walk and the 11/22/63.
I don't even like, so, I have the liberty of being able to swap mine out whenever.
Sure.
When I made the presentation. I couldn't decide.
Are there any big Stephen King books you haven't read? Because have you read It?
I've read It.
Have you read The Stand?
I read The Stand, which, those honestly could be in my top 3 books of all time.
Have you read the whole Dark Tower series?
No, so I read the first 3 and didn't love them.
I've heard they're different.
They're different. I wasn't super into them.
Okay. I want to read Misery. That's the one I want to read. I've heard Jurassic Park, the book, is terrifying.
It's pretty good. Obviously it's pretty good. It's in my top 3 books of all time. Yeah. You should read it.
Hell yeah. Here we go. Into the Wild, The Mirage Factory, Illusion, Imagination, and the Invention of Los Angeles, and Flowers for Algernon. Okay, a novel. Into the Wild is such an Erin Kuschner book.
It's a good book.
Yeah, it's a really good
Have you
book.
read Flowers for Algernon?
I don't know that. I don't know.
It's a banger.
Really? This one's tough because I don't have a lot to work with because I don't know 2 of these books that well. But Into the Wild's a really cool book and really good. 3 people come to mind. Matt Duran, Erin Kuschner, and Mallory come to mind. I'm gonna throw out Erin Kuschner in this one because I don't know. I don't know on this one, so I'm gonna just say Erin Kuschner, just in case. Peter.
Oh,
Peter.
Peter.
Oh, Peter. That's fine. Being fully honest, I haven't talked to Peter about books that much, so I was not really feeling too strong about that. Good choices, Peter. Wow. Twilight, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and Westerfield, Uglies. This is either Aaron Dougal or Lizzy comes to mind. I'm gonna go with Lizzy on this. Something tells me Aaron Dougal has not read Twilight, just seen the movies.
I believe you.
Lizzy. Nice! Okay, moving on. Let's see here. We've got Birds of America stories. We've got Orientation. A lot of short stories. We had a little real estate problem. The unheralded story of Native Americans and comedy. Interesting. Okay, so these are really interesting books. I, at one point, had Birds of America, and I never read it. Look, someone who reads short stories, pretty cool. This is this is kind of looking like an Erin Kuschner possibility right here. Erin Kuschner or Matt Duran. For some reason, Selina also, I'm thinking. Those are the three. $100. It's Matt Duran, Selina, or Erin Kuschner. With it being narrowed down to that, ooh, thinking it's either Selina or Erin Kuschner. I'm going with Erin Kuschner. If it's Peter again.
Again?
Again. I just feel like Erin Kuschner gives me short stories vibes, but so does Matt Duran. And so does Selina. I could toss a coin for those three. So and when it's down to that, I'm gonna go with Erin Kuschner. Matt Duran. Oh! Whoa! Whoa! That was awesome. Holy shit. That was a risk. That was a rush. That was so intense. Okay. Tom Stoppard, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern are dead. Six of Crows, and Bullet Train. Okay, 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. So they like cool, this like fun books. I don't know anything about this Tom Stoppard book.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Have you ever seen Lion King 1.5?
No.
No, it's based on.
But it's very funny, very brilliant, very chilling. Okay, interesting.
It's a 2-man play.
Interesting. Okay. Just gonna throw this out there and say, I'm gonna go with Selina on this one. Emily, dang. I had a feeling I was not gonna get Emily in this, because I just know Emily so well for video games that I don't really know their taste that well in other things. But that fits. Makes sense.
I am curious about the Bullet Train book.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a book. So, next up. Let's see here. Okay, The Emperor's New Groove, The Care and Keeping of You, and The Rainbow Fish. Great. The Rainbow Fish is pretty good.
It is a good one.
I got it. For me, it was Rainbow Fish and Hungry Hungry Caterpillar. Those two, I was like, bro.
Eric Carle?
I gotta smoke a joint and read Hungry Hungry Caterpillar again. I feel like that would be a trip. All right, so we got a jokester here. Or someone who just simply hasn't read a book in a long time.
Unfortunately, it might be the latter.
I don't mean this disrespectfully, because everyone that works here is very smart, and there's other mediums that people like. For instance, Andre, it's like, oh, he doesn't read books, but he's doing D&D and stuff. Aaron Dougal, Vita, Mallory, possibly, and Erica, only because I know Erica reads so much manga, and you didn't allow her to include manga in this. So it's like, what would she pick if she doesn't have the medium that she is reading? So she'd have to choose kids' books. That's kind of my thought here. So I'm gonna say Erica on this, but I won't be surprised if it's Aaron Dougal or Vita. Because I just haven't talked to them about books at all. I'm gonna go with Erica. Aaron Dougal. Wow.
She got you.
Wow, Aaron Dougal. Read a book. I just feel like my thought was that Aaron Dougal had some phase in high school where she read some books, and she would have she's like, oh yeah, Catcher in the Rye, whatever. I just could see her just being like, yeah, I didn't read many books, but it's whatever. That's my impression of Erin. All right. She's like, have you read The Rainbow Fish? Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, we got The Wise Man's Fear, we got The Cruel Prince, and we got Red Rising. Red Rising, this is on my list of books I need to get because I hear it's incredible. The Wise Man Fear is the sequel to what's it called? Name of the Wind, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's part of a series, yeah.
I've read both of those books, and they're very good. Sucks that's all we're gonna get. The Patrick Rothfuss, as we know, like I think this third book's just never gonna happen. But they like fantasy and sci-fi. I believe Red Rising is sci-fi, not fantasy. I think someone who loves fantasy sci-fi is Chance. Out of the list here, that's the strongest contender for someone who would like fantasy and sci-fi of this level. I'm gonna go with Chance. Nice.
Well done.
Nice. Easy, frankly, pretty easy. Next up, we have The Count of Monte Cristo, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and The Never-Ending Story. Count of Monte Cristo is one of my favorite books. I read it very early on when I started getting really into reading. It is a doozy, though. It's like 1,300 pages long.
Really?
It does not f around. There's an abridged version that a lot of people read, but I, being a douchebag, was like, I want to read the unabridged. Waste of time. Frankly. Okay.
Some sick art on it.
These are some, yeah. I was already thinking that.
Oh, I didn't even mean, I just meant like the art on them is cool.
The art is very cool.
I made sure to pick the cooler.
Marcus, Vita, Selina, but I feel strongly about Marcus for some reason, and I don't know why, but Vita, oh, this is tough. Because these are really good. These are like, those aren't kids' books, you know? Those are books that you read. Like, honestly, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, not an easy read. It's all about math. Do you know that?
It's like Damien's favorite fun fact.
Yeah, it is Damien's fun fact. He's the one who told me about that. He's like, do you know that it's
That's
about
like
math?
it's Scott Pilgrim. Like, did you know Pac-Man was originally?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. These are pretty cool. This looks really cool. I'm gonna go with Erin Kuschner on this one. Because it's getting down there. There's not many options left. Please give me all of art department. Erin Kuschner. I did it! I did it! Guys, that's it. No, I'm just kidding. There's more. But I finally got it. Guys, I know the art department. I know 'em. Moving on. I think this is the best I've ever done.
Unfortunately, it's up there.
Okay, Alex, it's good that you're here on this list. Was I the one who recommended Three Body Problem to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Three Body Problem is such a sick series. It's got some weird stuff in it. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna read it and there's gonna be moments where you're gonna be like, huh? But overall, the like overarching story is so awesome. There are parts of that series that I think about still. I don't know these other, we have On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous again. I gotta check this book out. And Starship and Haiku I have never heard of. But that cover art is unbelievable. Love that shit. Yeah, this is obviously Alex. Very
Yeah.
looking smug.
Get his ass.
I was surprised. A book that I recommended to both Spencer and Alex that we all talk about and love is Between Two Fires. Didn't see it on these lists.
I was like, I was gonna put it in my top 3, but I was like, I need to let it sit for a bit.
Totally.
Like,
I respect that.
you know, when you read a book and you're like, that
you
was.
can't just immediately say something's your favorite of all time.
Exactly, but it was close.
Also, Ocean Gone taught at the college I went to.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Which college was that?
UMass Amherst.
Damn.
Didn't find out until after I graduated.
That sucks.
That's
One
like
because I was like, oh, I want to meet him.
That was one of my favorite. I didn't realize he was like living in my college town for a while. It was. Did you read The Forever War by Joe Haldeman?
No, but I know of it.
It's classic, incredible sci-fi. He was like a Heinlein contemporary. But yeah, apparently he was just chilling in Gainesville the whole time I was there.
Damn. All right. Moving on. Nobody's got Infinite Jest on here? Come on. Just kidding. A Cinematic Odyssey. Hitchhiker's Guide's back here. and letters to a young poet. All right, so this person's cool as hell. This person's so cool. Let's see here. These last few guys, these are gonna be tough. For some reason, I think it's either Selina or Vita. I'm gonna go with Selina. I know Selina went to film school. I'm sure Vita also did. I just feel like this person likes film. They're a cinematic odyssey. I don't know much about it, but that's what I'm inferring from that. Hitchhiker's Guide is kind of an evergreen. Like, I feel like anyone could be like, oh, that's one of my favorites. But then Letters to a Young Poet, it's just like they also had a phase where they were, or currently, like reading classics, something that challenges them a little bit more, makes you think. I'm gonna go with Selina. Damn.
That's like your fourth wrong Selina guess.
I know. Bro, I need to learn from Guess Who Slapped Me. Just, I'm never gonna guess Selina. Damn. I always get, how often do I get it down to 2 people?
Pretty often.
It's kind of cool.
Sure.
Next
No,
up. A New Earth. I'm glad my mom died is back here. And Shiver. Okay, so this one I know because forever ago, Courtney lent me Shiver. And I read like half of it. And then I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not into, look, it wasn't my, I was just straight up. I was like, I don't think it's bad. It's
Bro,
just
did
not
you
my type.
DNF a book someone lent you?
Yeah. But I know they also read I'm Glad My Mom Died. And I think I recommended A New Earth to them. So very clearly Courtney. Let's see here. There it is. Wow. Okay.
Courtney,
Nice.
I asked Courtney for a picture, and that was the picture Courtney sent me.
Yeah, I believe it. All right. Next up. Okay, so this is Bailey. This is. I'm upset that I guessed Bailey earlier on that when this is Bailey. Before we started filming, I was talking to Bailey about A Corn of Thorns and Roses, which I have not read, but I have read Crescent City, one of other Sarah J. Maas's books. And From Blood and Ash, I know is also romantasy. City of Bones.
Romantasy?
Romantasy. Yeah.
Sorry, I've just not heard that.
Yeah, romantasy is it's look, if you go to Goodreads, it's its whole own genre there. Bailey. Boom.
Nice.
There it is. There it is. All right. All right, we're down to 4 people. We've got Mallory, Marcus, Selina, and Erica. And here we have Gone Girl, Where the Crawdads Sing, and Alice Feeney, His and Hers. Okay, I think very strongly that this is Selina. I know. If it's not Selina, then I refuse to guess Selina again. Even if Selena's the last person and there's one person left, I'm not gonna guess. But I think this is Selina. If it's Mallory, I swear to God, God dang it! Come on. God dang it. So Mallory is just if Erin Dougal reads.
That was brutal, dude.
Why is that brutal? They're like the same person. All right, moving on. How to Win Friends and Influence People. The B.J. Novak book. One more thing. Stories and Other Stories. Harry Potter. Okay.
Harry Potter 4.
Harry Potter 4 specifically.
No, 5. Sorry, my bad.
It's 5. Yeah.
No, 5.
4 is Goblet of Fire.
Hey, sorry. Real talk. That was my least favorite one. So bad taste.
I didn't like Order of the Phoenix either.
4, the best one though.
No, I think 6 is the best one.
Okay. No,
Half-Blood Prince is the best one.
4 is the best one.
No, it's not. I refuse to guess Selina. I refuse. I'm gonna go with Marcus. If it's Selina, I don't care. I don't care that it's Selina. I don't care. I knew that, and I was not gonna say it. So I don't care. You're not gonna influence me. Moving on. I can't make this up, life lessons from Kevin Hart, The Stinky Cheese Man, and the official Pokemon handbook. That's about as close as you can get to putting manga on here. So, this is the thing. I don't think Erica likes Pokemon, though. Tommy's not on this list.
No.
The thought of Erica reading a book by Kevin Hart.
It is a little funny.
That is a little funny. I'm gonna guess Marcus because it's a win-win then. Either I'm correct or I get to know that Erica has read a book by Kevin Hart, which makes sense. Because you know what? She would read all of One Piece and go, you know what my favorite book is? Life Lessons by Kevin Hart. I'm gonna go with Marcus.
Go.
Let's go, dude. Let's go. I had that Pokemon handbook too.
Me too.
It rocks.
It was so good.
It kicks a lot of ass.
Stinky Cheese Man's also pretty good.
Stinky Cheese Man's also very good.
More pictures than I thought I would allow, but it's cool.
Let's see what Erica picked. What?
They're light novels, bro.
Novels, dude.
What do you mean they're?
It says it on the book. It says novel.
One Piece novel.
Oh. I didn't know. I'm learning stuff.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
You never heard of LNs?
I've seen the light novel section at Barnes & Noble, and I was always confused.
Yeah, they got words in them, bro.
I thought it was just more manga.
Dude, I thought it was more.
I just was like, they have a different name over there for them. Okay, so that's Erica. Very easy. I'm surprised she didn't pick a community book.
Jeff Winger's Guide to the Galaxy.
Erica, all right.
Yeah.
Woo! Dude, I think that was my best one yet. Top 3 books. I think this was my best one yet. We will figure it out down below how many I got right, how many I got wrong. Let's figure out the percentage, where it stands compared to the other ones. I think this is my highest percentage yet. I feel great about this. Look, everyone I work with, they have great taste in books. They have great taste in everything. I'm happy to work with them. They're smart people. We'll get Erin Dougal to read a book, though. We'll make that happen.
Dude, Challenge Pit?
Yeah, Challenge Pit. Challenge Pit. Read a book. Thank you for watching. Let me know. Look, there's definitely still stuff out there that I can guess my friends based off of. So let me know in the comments down below. We'll see you next time.
Oh, tell them to write their favorite book in the
Oh, and also, let us know in the comments down below what your top 3 favorite books are, or just 3 books that you love. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.